Hello and welcome to Learn, Do, Become. Have you ever gotten stuck on a project and it just didn't feel fun anymore? And maybe it even felt heavy on your shoulders and you wondered why you never felt motivated to work on it? Well, I'm April Ferry, and today we're diving into an interview that Eric and I did with an amazing community member named Nance. She had posted inside our Steps to Everyday Productivity Mastery community group. That's our signature program here at Learn, Do, Become. And she'd shared how she had been stuck on a project to organize her office. But then, while working inside our step coaching membership, she learned how to get things moving and build momentum that now extends well beyond just organizing the office. And this discussion isn't a how-to, it's more of a conversational focus on the principles that matter most to us at Learn, Do, Become. But I think that you're going to love it. We're talking about keeping things simple, making space for doing what matters most, working in small microbursts, creating structure so you can have freedom and more joy, giving ourselves grace, and encouraging others who are on the same path. So this is a great interview to listen to while you're tidying up at the end of the day, or maybe while you're out on a walk, getting some fresh air. And I invite you to think about how you can feel more joy and build more momentum in your life as you're listening. And we recorded this as a video, so there are some visuals that we show, the before and after photos. You can go to the show notes page to be able to see those if you're listening to the podcast version. So enjoy. Welcome, Nance. We're so excited to have you here.
Oh, thank you so much. It's an honor.
I know that people who are here listening are thinking, if I have big projects and I'm stuck, I'm just stuck. There's no way out, or it feels too hard, or I've tried everything. And I'm so grateful that you're here to be able to help walk us through a really practical concept on how to really get unstuck. So I'd love to just turn it over to you for a moment. And we're going to be highlighting this specific experience that you had kind of as we get started to really make this practical and doable for those who are watching. But I would love to just hear from you. What had been your experience in doing a lot of things and maybe feeling a little bit stuck, and what did it look like for you to make that transformation?
Okay, well, I had a current project on my list called Clean Office. It had just morphed into a landing spot for stuff. And I noticed very quickly that I kept moving the project from month to month to month. And it's part of my overall goal. I do want to downsize our home eventually. And this office just kept showing up. So I thought, well, I just need big blocks of time and I can go in there and handle it.
Like a weekend
and I thought,
open with nothing going on. And
exactly. It's like Monday through Friday looks like this. And then Saturday and Sunday, it looks like I have so much time and I'll get to it. But no, you know what? Sneaky pop-up projects came up. They're kind of like shiny objects sometimes. Sometimes they're necessary. I mean, we do have emergencies come up, other people's problems. And then, okay, so I can, and it's like, it's okay, Nance. So, well, maybe you need to attack it a little bit better. Maybe you should read more about decluttering. How about things that matter in life and minimalism and just, organization? That's your problem. So it's like, okay, so I got books from the library. All right, good way to procrastinate, Nance, right? So it's like, oh, self-help, it's not going to do that particular one. There's got to be some reason. Well, I joined step coaching because I thought, you know what? I see that April has mentors. And I thought, well, if April has mentors, I should get mentors. And I thought, I need an accountability partner or some way to be accountable. And I thought, this is what I should do. And I thought, well, put your big girl pants on and really journal, work through what is your problem with this project. Why can't you get through it? And I have an awesome command central. I love the system, but for some reason, no matter how many times I've listened to podcasts on projects, how many books I've read, and all the classes and workshops. And I'm like, you know what? This office project is not fun anymore. It's just really a thorn in my side. So it can't be me. Well, it is me, but I'll take responsibility for it. And I thought, well, no, my mess, my project, can't bring anyone else in. And then I decided, and I looked at the reasons for the project, they're all sound. And then I thought, well, it finally hit me, even though I've heard it many times. It's like, well, what's the next best thing you could do, or what's the easiest next step you can take to tackle the project? And I thought, oh, take a photo. How hard is that? And then while I'm sitting there journaling through this, it's like, well, then what do I do after that? And then it's like, well, there are 3 areas of the office that really need attention. So why don't you call them sub-projects and just try to get through? And instead of doing the hard stuff first, no, maybe tackle the easiest one first. So then I thought, yeah, I really need to write down all the next steps. And they were baby steps. And it's like, even my daughter had peeked at my planner, at my next actions list, and she saw take photo of chair. She's like, seriously, Mom? What is your problem? And I thought, yeah, she's right. So I took the 3 areas of this office. There's some chairs that need to be
Actually, can I
repaired.
share my screen right now to show the picture of it?
Oh,
Because
sure.
I think this will be nice for us to be able to go through it together. Okay, so here's your chairs, here's your photo albums, right?
Right, to all the photo albums that I had collected and thought, what am I going to do with? I'll just put them there and deal with them later. And then there are 2 filing cabinets. I got rid of 2 other 4-drawer filing cabinets like 3 months before, and I had to hurry to get them ready. And so I just pulled everything out and put it on the table. In fact,
That's what all this is,
right.
just from the other filing cabinets. Because really, this doesn't look that bad. I mean, I know some people might be like, Nance, this actually looks like pretty doable, pretty good.
You can see the floor.
You can see the floor, like it look, but I get exactly what you're saying. You've got all these things that still are calling out because they need some kind of attention. This room isn't really functional at this point, right?
No, and it's just going to get worse. It kind of breeds in there, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
So I said to my daughter, well, I can't take a picture because I thought first I'll get the chairs repaired. And I thought, well, I can't take a picture of the chairs with all the photo albums in front of them. It's like, no, you have to layer this. And so I broke it down and used 3 sub projects. And so office photo frames. So take picture and look at the frames, the ones that are broken, I need to get rid of, donate some. And then there were some I thought I could sell at a consignment store. So a little gem in here is, you always talk about when you're cleaning a drawer or just a 10-minute microburst, you might find some money. I'm like, yeah, right. Not me, because I watch everything, not me. I get to the consignment store and she goes, Nance, you have a couple checks that have been sitting waiting for you. I'm like, seriously, $50? It's like, oh my gosh. And so that was my little reward. So it's like, okay, so now I'm starting to get momentum. So I went through, made the decisions on the frames and got them out of the way, took a picture of the chair, and the seats need to be upholstered. And so I got a picture so that I could go get quotes eventually, and then tackled the files. But the problem with the files, okay, so I should back up. I made these 10-minute, 15-minute things. I just popped down there, just do it for, 15 minutes and have some fun. And then, but sometimes I stayed longer, which was great.
Other things going on in your life at the same time. This wasn't your only thing you're focusing on, right?
No, cleaning an office was like the bottom thing, but it just kept, it just drains on you. So anyway, it was wonderful to make the decisions on frames. And then I realized another part of me was I was like all or nothing. Either I keep everything or nothing. I can't have anything in between. And I'm like, I kind of like a couple of these frames. It's okay if I put them in a box and put them in another area, and I can come back to them and once I get the projects done, I can get pictures in them and put them up, use them. So that's a little reward, of course. So that was fun. I got momentum. And then with the files, again, I did like 10 minutes at a time, and maybe brought them up before breakfast, looked through a couple, that kind of thing. And then I realized I'm not going to toss all this stuff. I need some of this stuff, but I had no room in the other filing cabinets. So then I had to make another extra step, and it's like, it's okay. It's okay because you're moving forward. And I did have to go through some files to make room for some, but got a lot of shredding and recycling and
I'm going to show you
things that
here. That looks so
and things could.
Well, I want to do like the dramatic, like here we are before. Dun 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 dun. Whoosh.
Ta-da! Yeah, the ta-da.
so good. You did a great
That's
job.
amazing.
Okay, but so you did a lot of shredding. So some of the stuff went back, because I know people, whenever they see it before and after, like, okay, where did everything go? So
Right.
We lit it all on fire in the backyard.
That was an option, but
okay,
I
so
thought, no, I better shred. So I did some shredding, when I had time, and it worked out really well.
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, so a lot of shredding, and then the photo albums are, where are those now?
Most were donated. Several went out in the trash,
Okay.
and then some went to a rummage sale, and then I took 2 or 3 to a consignment store.
Okay. Okay. So they were like empty photo albums. They weren't your personal photos.
They were actually frames.
Oh, sorry, frames. I thought they were out. Okay, frames. Okay, so you got all the frames put places other than just need to be in your house.
And you saved 2 or 3 of your favorites.
And you say it's a favorite.
I'll probably put a portrait of Eric and April.
There you go. That's the worst thing you could possibly do. Is your home.
Well, and then these chairs, this is great because you're getting them reupholstered and taken care of, so you're able to take the photos and move forward on that project. And it's not an overwhelming thing anymore.
Yes. So an update on the chairs, because you're like, they're still there, Nance. I know. So I researched upholsters. I found several. They didn't pan out. So I have 4 more to call, and I have the phone numbers written down. So how can I be nice to myself? So there's scary calls, of course. I mean, but I've got the phone numbers. It's like when I have
And when
a
you
couple
want
minutes.
the other 3 the same way and just say, hey, I'm going to send you 3 photos and a basic write-up what I'm looking for, and I'd like you to get back to me in a week, right? And just boom, 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 boom. And one thing I'll just comment on that is like to that point, like sometimes we have projects that just sit around because we don't know what that next step is. And sometimes the next step isn't clear or obvious to us. So I have a book that's really valuable to me, and it was leather bound, leather covered, and it's just been worn down, and some parts are coming apart. And I was looking for someone who could like renovate that book and restore it really well. And I've been looking for that person for about 10 to 15 years since we lived in Southern California till now.
Yeah.
And I called places and checked, oh, we don't do that kind of work. Oh, we don't handle like, and I'm just like, it's never going to get done. And then literally about 6 weeks ago, my daughter goes somewhere and mentions this one place she came across. And I call them up and like, yeah, we do that kind of stuff all the time. And so I took a
It's a
couple
mile from our
pictures,
house or
and it's a
something.
mile from our house right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I
Not
just
even
took the universe aligning in a certain way, just being patient. Not that we should like wait on our projects, but if you know what your next step is, sometimes you have to wait. But then the right upholsterer, the right book restorer comes along, and I sent them 2 or 3 photos and a quick text, and I said, could you do this? And they gave me like this ridiculously awesome price. I'm like, oh, yes, we're doing this today. So I like zoom over there and drop it off, and like they were so quick with it. But like it's so rewarding when you know, okay, here's what the next step is. Simple effort, and all of a sudden now it's done. So
Right, because so many times other things come into play, and then this time it's for you, and yeah, that's great.
share a photo in the Facebook group again when all those chairs are done the way you want them and say, here it is.
Well, So let's just talk for a moment about the process and what it changes for you. Because in the post that you shared, you had, and just the confidence and the energy and the excitement. And I think it's like you're, yeah, saying being kind to myself and acknowledging what a good job that I'm doing, where you're already balancing a lot of things. Like this office project was not the only thing that you had on your plate. There's a lot of other stuff you're managing. You said it's kind of the bottom project. But knowing in 10 to 15 minutes at a time, you could just clear this up. What does it do for your energy and emotions now? And what does it do for your confidence moving forward? Like how would
Oh, it's a game changer. I mean, it's like I can do this. It's so silly because it's like, I'm sure people think, an office, but it was weighing so heavily on me
you,
month after month after month. And
yeah.
um, it was staying in motion. I mean, that really, because I like to exercise, okay, but keeping my next actions as motion, that resonated with me. And it's
Okay.
like, Nance, don't just sit in your issues or let them um, fester and grow bigger, because in the back of my mind is this horrific picture that my adult children will have to have a dumpster and have to go through all this.
Mm.
There's no way I want them to handle any of our stuff that's not theirs. It's not a burden for them.
Mm.
And yet at the same time, so these little what seem little projects just balloon. And so now I have some next in line and that projects. And what's fun is they may have been shiny objects. If I hadn't really sat down and gone through why I'm stuck and broken these down into small actions, I probably would have had 3 other projects that I was working on, and probably still in the not 100% there, because in the back of my mind is this office. But I love your analogy of balloons, of letting next in line, just let them go for now. And I didn't want to do that with this office one. No, I wanted to nail it, get it done. Yeah.
Well, because you said it
So
weighing on your shoulders. And so it's like, I don't know how exactly to describe it, but I feel like when there's a project like that, that really is taking up mental bandwidth, even when you're not working on it, then you just know, okay, it's going to give me so much more time and energy and ability if I can just get it done. Because now I don't need to be thinking about it, right?
right. And then go on to the things that really matter in life. I
Mhm.
mean, time spending with other people, and just exploring hobbies or things like that. But yeah, it gave me it just such a relief. And it's silly. Just next action, make it easy on yourself. This is,
Really at all. And I love what you're saying because you love exercise, you love being with people, you want time doing hobbies, the things that you enjoy. And I know that there are so many people who are thinking, well, I would love to have a hobby. I mean, that would just be amazing. Or to actually be able to invite people over, or even feel like I could leave my house to just go be with people and not feel like there's this tug, oh, but you should be cleaning, organizing, doing all your things, or whatever it is that needs to get done. But you're finding that when you can take care of these they seem silly, but they're not. When you take care of these very practical tasks that need to be done, that it's giving you the ability to do what matters most, to live your life, to be present for people, to be the encourager that you are. I think.
right.
Well,
And
just
it's being liberated in so many ways. Yeah.
I was just gonna say on that momentum metaphor that you had, like just that phrase, a rolling stone gathers no moss, right? So if you
Mhm.
keep moving, it can't gather or grow moss. In that office, if it sat like that, you'd be like, well, I've got something that just came in. I can set it down there for now because it's not organized yet, right? When you talk about those personal development books, I was going to ask, did any of those get set down there while you were working on reading them? Because when something's sitting like that, it just creeps and grows, right? But if you're like, okay, what's my next action? How do I move this forward? You realize it's not as difficult and it will more quickly get done than you think. And one last little thing I'll share is I forget who it was who shared it either in a Rise or Step, but they like that analogy that we teach about projects being Pez dispensers, right? You just take the next candy, the next candy. And she's like, that just resonated with me, but I get stuck on my projects. So I actually ordered or bought, I think
I think that's
7 or 8.
Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron said
She would
8 Pez dispensers. And I basically just have them sitting on my desk. And maybe she puts like a little sticky
label
or
it.
something like, and then when that project changes, she takes that label off. But she's like, these are my 8 projects or 6 projects or whatever you've got. These are the ones I'm working on, and it keeps your mind focused on I can just do that next little piece of candy that comes out until the Pez dispenser is empty or the project's done. And then you've got that lightness that April's talking about,
Yeah.
that freedom, that joy of like, okay, I can go do the rest of my life and have nothing pulling back.
Right.
Right.
So keep moving,
Yeah.
moving.
Well, and
Yeah.
it might seem so simple, and I think that's why we're talking about it though, is because we need to highlight what is simple and what is doable. Because what you were saying was you're waiting for this weekend to be the time that nothing would pop up, no one would need you. You would all of a sudden just feel so excited to spend hours in the office.
And also, if
Right.
there would appear that weekend with a wand to turn mice into like helpers for you to get the office done, right?
But it's when you can learn how to say what exactly needs to be done. Taking a photo of a chair that someone might laugh, but that's the key I find. If someone would laugh if they see it, then you know you've got the next action, right? And if it's a 2 minute thing and you can do it and don't have to write it down, that's fine. But if it's something where it's like, oh, I have to go be in the office, have good lighting or whatever, take the picture, have everything cleared so I can get that
Or if you
done.
just want the dopamine hit of
Yeah.
taking photo, then write it down and take the photo.
But I would
There.
love to go a little deeper into this with you and just learn a little bit more about you and just build a broader vision for anyone who might be listening, being maybe new here at Learn to Become and wondering how all this works and why we're here. We talk a lot about, creating simple systems so we can do what matters most. And part of that is like, yes, our step command central and learning projects and next actions and how to set it up and things like that. But when we think about doing what matters most, there are so many times, at least earlier in my life, when I felt like clutter and stuff and tasks were just, they're blinding me from anything else that was possible. And it felt like, well, sure, that'd be great to have dreams, for travel or building something or, helping somebody in a deeper way or all these things that seemed great. And I'd be watching other people doing it. But I just thought, but I will have this list of things to do forever. And everything keeps getting dirty and out of control. And the list keeps getting longer. It's like the shackles and, are just getting tighter and longer and, and stronger. And there's this feeling that I know is super common, even if people don't have a lot of clutter, if there's mental, space that isn't clear and a lot of things to do, it's easy to feel like if I'm stuck now, I'm probably going to be stuck forever. And then that could either lead to fear or it could lead to paralysis, like thinking, well, why even try? If I'm stuck forever, I might as well just like, yeah, add that book to the pile or put that thing there and why even try? But what would you say as far as if someone is in that spot to help them to see that there is something bigger and broader for them?
Oh, well, for me, the structure of a system, the system of the command central has been something to hold on to. It's the it's a foundation. And and I think that having the system made me feel confident and just knowing where things are at, because so much comes at you all the time. And when developing the system, working on it, I used it at work for getting things done. David Allen's book I used at work. And it's like, wow, I thrived at work. And I really enjoyed the environment. Well, why is that? Because of the order. Well, why can't I bring it home and use it with me? So I set up my command central, but I realized really it's in me. It's me. And the system is just out there to help me move things along. And just picking up things where like laundry. now I think of laundry as infinity. Nance, you don't need to do that last load, stay up an extra hour just to get that done so your hamper is empty.
Because
Chill,
all that's going to happen is somebody in your
It's
household's going to throw another rag in there the second
it
it's all done.
As soon as he
uh-oh.
finishes the laundry, I like can't put anything in
I
it.
want to go wash the floor real quick and throw one rag.
Just have one day, so I like hide dirty laundry other places. So
Then the laundry's not done. You're breaking this.
Don't tell. But things like that to give yourself grace. There's always going to be, the bills to pay, the calls to make. Oh, something needs to be repaired.
I think what you're
And
saying on those things like bills, repairs, and laundry, like it's not a project, it's a routine. And so it isn't.
exactly.
And so realize you'll just step back into the routine the next time it's needed and you're ready for it. But that gives you that peace of mind, right?
And I think when you think of infinity and these things that are routines, it flows,
Yeah.
whereas projects are a little bit more step involved and again, with analogies, being on a treadmill and going each step is a lot easier than a climber where you have to lift your foot up each time, and it's hard because there's stop and start, but when with the system there's a flow, and so you learn to understand, okay, I can control the laundry to some point, but let it be a point where it doesn't take me away from the other things that matter. And it's what you do daily that really matters in the long run. It's the daily things that you do. So if you break your projects down into next steps, it's kind of it's minuscule, but you move, you keep going, and you don't have the stop and the start. So yeah, understanding routines. Okay, that's a routine. It's always going to be there. You can't control that, but you can control, when you get it done and what needs to be done. And maybe you can wait a day on something because something is more important. And here's where I learned that, Nance, instead of trying to get, that clothes hamper emptied, take 10 minutes and go down there and go through some files, because that's keeping that going.
Mhm.
And so now, it's fun, and keep the fun in it. I'm always pretty serious and, get this done, deadlines and strict and that kind of thing. But no, give yourself some grace, have some fun, use music if you can.
Maybe on that topic, like when you finish some projects like recently or in the recent past, do you do anything to like celebrate or reward yourself? Like how do you like reward, celebrate, or have fun either in or just after finishing projects that you value?
Well, I'm not good at that. However, in order to keep my weekly review, which is really pivotal in a system, I write down my weekly wins, and I so enjoyed April's podcast on finding things that you did do. Don't look at all the things that need to be done, but stop and take a look. Wow, I got this done I got my taxes together. you know, you know, that's huge, and we all have that, and it's always so awful. But if you break down taxes, getting everything ready, it's not that bad. And doesn't it feel good to hand them off to someone else if you can?
Well, and I
So
think also the point when you were saying, what do you do to celebrate to get a project done? I'm kind of the same way where I'm like, I'm not great at like celebrating or saying, oh, once I do this, I'll do this. But I will say, and I think Nance, you could relate to this, that getting those things done then it relieves the pressure where you can just have fun in your daily life. You can enjoy
You're
being
gonna
with
enjoy that
people
walk a
and
lot more.
And you don't necessarily connect it like, oh, it's a reward that I get to go to this movie or I get to go to this party or whatever. You don't think of it like that. You just think, wow, look at me having a great conversation with someone or enjoying my day or just feeling light because that was completed and it just freed that mental space.
Right, right. And replace all the self-help books with like fiction, you
Yes,
know, something fun.
I don't think about it anymore. But I'd love to hear just a little bit more about your personal and professional life. Just tell us a little bit more about you.
Finance. I've been in the area, the field of finance, working for mutual fund companies. And then the last, I've been retired now for 2 years. And I didn't want to mention that because it's like, oh, sure, you have time for
All
projects,
the time.
right?
You don't. I was talking to my mom. She's retired and she's busier in good ways. Then she's like,
Right,
she's like, I've got stuff
right.
to do, people to see, things like. I'm like, great, mom. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I have
So,
free time.
so what I guess order, in the office was really, really important to me. And so order at home is like gold to me. And um, I really, the first time I heard you two talk about you were talking about, you're thinking about starting a rise and an architecture for life. And I'm like, wow, that is so cool because growth is where life happens. And yes, often growth can be painful, not physically painful, but I mean, it can be it's work, you know, but it's so rewarding. And I don't know where I'm going with this, but
What more though?
I
You
guess,
have a daughter.
pardon me,
You have a daughter.
I have a daughter and a son, 25 and year old son and a 26-year-old daughter.
And do they live close to you?
Yes, kind of. One's in college, a late bloomer, but awesome. It's his time, and my daughter lives about 10 miles away.
That's
And
good.
then I'm also happily married, so that's nice too.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so I have the dream, I have it all. But I'll tell you what, the just having this system brought what I loved about my work home. And I think that using the system is not only administratively very, very helpful because, even though I'm retired, there have been things that come up and boundaries. I need better boundaries, but I'm working on it. But I'm using the system to expand myself, who I'm becoming. And that's really what's so fun because I don't want to die with regrets.
Mhm.
And so putting a place in system and getting these drudgery projects that really, in the grand scheme of things, do not really matter, but get them out of the way and then you know,
It
have
unlocks a lot of the things that really matter.
right. And not only you can't have fun or experiences with your family or start a new hobby because you have these projects. No, I can do this at the same time because, hey, now I really need to think of a project, not because the office clean the office was my project. Well, Nance, now pick something maybe that you want to explore that you're interested in instead of always something daunting.
You don't have to white knuckle it through our lives. And
Right, right.
yes, like Eric gives the example of planning a trip to Yosemite, that cleaning out a closet or planning a trip to Yosemite, they're both projects that can just be broken down into little things you can do in 10 minutes at a time. But knowing that we can create this fun for our lives, I think that that's really empowering because I never want anyone to feel like, okay, time to sit and talk about organization. I'm in my life, mopping the floor and, feeling like all I do is just clean and organize because that can be fulfilling to some people. And I love it. Part of me loves it, but I don't want to do it all the time. I want to go enjoy the outdoors and enjoy time with Eric and our children and feel vibrant with life. So I love that.
Well, I feel like it sometimes comes out of like being preoccupied with the projects and routines, right?
Mhm.
And to our earlier conversation about momentum, like the person moving, even if they're moving in slow steps forward, like the child learning to walk or maybe an aged person slowing down, if they're still moving, they're eventually going to get where they're trying to go. But the person in the middle of life, maybe they've got full ability to stride, but they're so preoccupied or even paralyzed by "Oh, I've got to sit here and think about having to get all these projects done, all these routines
Mhm.
done. And I figure the comparison I'll make is like you said, if you were to take that energy and put it actively toward everything, but put 20% of it toward projects or routines like you really enjoy, the remaining 80% of your time, if it's again directed the same way in a meaningful small step way, you're going to get a bunch of these projects, you're going to make headway in a bunch of these routines. You will get done more with 80% energy and the 20% enjoying than 100% of the preoccupation paralyzation, right? Because I think we think, oh, I'm putting all my time every day into these things that are really, really important, but we're not moving very much on them. And we're just
Mhm.
more like stuck and like buried and feeling like overwhelmed. And nobody wants to live like that. So it's like introduce some percentage, whatever you decide it is, into having some things that are rewarding, enjoyable, and happy
Mhm.
while you're also intelligently working on projects and routines. And I just think the quality of life of that person is just so much better.
Yeah, I love that. And I've even found that the more I love when you were saying you're choosing this office project. You like thought about it and you said, well, is this really a project that I want to be doing and need to be doing? And you said, yeah, this it's a sound project. This has
Yeah.
all all the reasons are good, and this is something that I am committed to doing. I feel like when we start being able to do that throughout all of our lives, even though a project might be difficult and there might be some emotion involved or negotiating with people maybe who have different opinions, right? Like sometimes you just have to do things that aren't necessarily simple or exciting. But I find that I don't dread things anymore. And I don't feel like I get stopped by nervousness and fear. That we can have a conversation. Maybe the next step is have a conversation with Eric and explain why I'm feeling a little hesitant. And then we have that conversation and then we can move on with it. But we don't have to just sit and feel stuck anymore.
Right, right. And I love how you bring into the system of the command central. What's so beautiful about what you do, April and Eric, is you help us work with our system, um, because it's really within us. I mean, are we rested? Um, do I maybe need an accountability partner? Is is this maybe not the right time to clean my office? Maybe, there's something heavier weighing on me, and just let it go like a balloon in one of your, just let that next in line go. You've captured it. It's your next in line. It's there, but just not right now because the momentum isn't there or my health isn't there or I don't have what I need to do it. So again, I love how it's a great system, but it's working with the people so that you understand your personal, how you personally use the system, and uh, working working through things, and just understanding that so many other things can prevent you from feeling like I'm in control. But you focus on the system is there, it'll always be there. Work with yourself in your system, what works best for you at the best time, and what's priority, you know. And you're always so gracious to say, I recognize family's really important. Sometimes you have to drop everything, and that's the
Mhm.
way it is. But things are safe because you have, a person has the command central set up. Your things are safe. You can jump away for a little bit
Mhm.
and it'll be there. And things are captured. You aren't going to, so that's what's so beautiful, the work that you do and how you're so supportive, and you're so, April, you just know, you drill into what the real issue is when you work with people. And it's really cool to see you how your mind works. And it's like,
You're so
I've been there.
You're very kind, and I thank you for how you explain that. I think just this ability for you now, them watching you and seeing how light and excited you feel, and knowing all the good that you're doing in your family, in your community, and in the world. I love knowing that you feel this confidence in yourself and that you know that you can do the things that matter and you have discernment and you're not going to get sidetracked. You're going to, make wise decisions and maybe sometimes change, and that's great. If you need to postpone or move things around, that's life and that's necessary. But I love that it enables you to do these things and be committed to good stuff. Any final thoughts from you?
Well, there's a couple things. I want to
Yeah.
ask a question for. Well, just maybe to kind of talk about the Command Central. Like you said, it's based on principles, right? One thing that's really fascinated me over the years, watching so many people learn these basic principles, but then build their own Command Central, is they're very personalized, right? Everybody's background, experience, energy, approach is different. So I love, and I've loved over the years seeing, you know, probably over 10,000 photos now of their Command Centrals and before and afters and all that. And they're all unique, right?
You never get tired of them.
They're
They're the best.
They're like fingerprints, right? I love it, right?
Yeah.
So if you're watching this and you're not part of STEP or have a Command Central built, like check it out because it is a powerful tool. As you build that to your needs and your life situation, it can really open up your life. One last thing I was going to just ask you about. I mean, hopefully many of our Learn to Becomers already know Nance from things they've seen in the group, the STEP group, the Arise group. But if you're not an Ariser, one thing I want to point out is like, I don't think I've seen a post in Arise where Nance hasn't crept in somewhere to like congratulate someone or like cheer someone on or give someone some encouragement, whatever it is. And I don't want to put you on the spot and say, have you always been like this optimistic and very positive person? But like, what is it that you feel like as you've kind of come to these communities about you that causes you to be that way? Like like, because you're just one of the most energetic, sweet, kind, supportive, encouraging people. That's why I said, I don't know if we caught it on the recording or not. We were talking a little bit before we started recording, but she's just this amazing person. So if you're not in Arise and you haven't been cheer-led by Nance, come into Arise. Like we have a 2-month free
No
trial.
pressure.
Come in, check out the Facebook group because I promise you, in every post, you'll see Nance creeping in
Don't put the
somewhere.
pressure on her though.
No. Okay, maybe you'll find an occasional post where Nance, but I mean, she's in there periodically, just encouraging and loving people.
Yeah.
Like, what would you say kind of motivates and drives you to do that? I mean, and how can we be more like Nance in that way? So,
Well, I'm embarrassed because it's just been how I grew up, I guess. But reading books that you've suggested, like The Gap and the Gain, what you have versus always what looking at, not appreciating what you have or what's out in front of you. But I guess this community, I really love working. Okay, my career and part of it was people bringing in their taxes and getting people to bring in their taxes to the CPAs. People don't want to do that. And it's like, to be understanding and compassionate. And so that was a fun part of my job.
Yeah.
But there's a story behind everyone. Everyone has something going on. There's a story behind everyone. To be able to help people just move along and get their taxes done or get through a situation like I'm stuck on a project. This community builds people up, and it's a great place to be because we're all supportive of each other. We all have backstories, we all have issues, but when you focus on the lighter side and the positive side, mindset is huge. And anything I can do to hopefully boost someone's morale or hang in there, we're here for a safety net. And I feel comfortable doing that. That's how I guess I contribute to the world.
I was gonna say you lift a lot of spirits, you boost a lot of morale. Like it's seriously, when I'm going through different posts and comments and stuff, I always like when I see your name, I'm like, I can't wait to see what she wrote, right? Not to put any pressure on you to like write more.
You've been a huge support to me
just
too.
wherever you are, yeah. Just and even the
But
us a
But I
message.
was my own kayak. I mean, I was my own kayak.
We all,
Risers will understand that reference,
yeah,
but
we don't get the kayak reference, Colin, and understand it. But we all have our own kayaks, right? And so when someone's struggling with a
We had a
kayak,
kayak in our house for like a year or more. Okay, anyway.
we have a kayak.
But
Come
next,
to Arise to
yeah.
learn more. But it's right, you're right. All of us have something, right? And just being in that group and in Step Mastery and over in Arise, I've heard people say like this, these are a couple of the most supportive, encouraging, positive places, Facebook groups or places on the internet we've ever seen. And again, not to put any pressure on all the people in the communities to keep being that, but I think we're attracting people who maybe as they come in initially might have the cares of the world, the burdens on their shoulders. But as they come in and realize you've got a lot of people here who are going to cheer you on, support you, give you ideas and best practices, they then can let those loads go and get through them and become maybe part of that supportive, encouraging group. So I do.
Yeah.
I just love people like you. I mean, you're not the only one, but you're an amazing light in that group, and we're just really grateful for you.
well, and again, it's the things that you can control that you focus your energy on, not the things that you don't have control. But I know you'll appreciate this, especially you, Eric. I thought about this and I was the princess of procrastination, but now I'm now no longer Nance. I'm Nan, next action ninja.
Oh,
So
oh,
I'm
we're
maybe this might be a formal announcement of my name change.
That's right. She's now the Facebook group is like, man.
Action Ninja, you're so cute.
That is awesome. That's a great acronym. I love
Well,
that.
but I love that you're building an identity of someone who doesn't need to procrastinate. You don't need to fear momentum. You embrace, action and that moving forward and blessing other people and being a resource. And I love too that as you're retired, you're finding ways to be able to use your time and energy and talents that feel really good to you. And that's just something it's rare. And the reason why I'm so passionate about the work that we're doing is because there are way too many people who are either living in constant stress, just moving, 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 trying to get as much as they can done, or living, on the other end of the spectrum, just feeling completely stuck, just
Hopeless or overwhelmed.
piling things up. God, I have to go to work. I come home, just watch TV. I have nothing. And I've been on both. And so we've been on both ends of the spectrum. And so being able to feel like, no, we don't have to always be stressed, but we don't need to lay around. You can have that balance. And like how you're saying, I can enjoy my family and get an office clean. I can do both at the same time. It's not an either or. And bringing, us and the community to that center point where we're balanced, it's sustainable. You can still build great relationships and you can feel like, we talk about waking up excited and going to bed content, but being able to be excited about the day and the energy you have and the ability that we, have to contribute because none of us are going to be alive forever here on this planet. Like we only have a certain amount of time and we want to live it feeling like this is a great day,
Yeah,
each day, in spite of the challenges in the world, that we can bring some light and contribute in some
right.
way and have that feeling. So, any final words of encouragement that you would offer to the community?
Just thank you to you two for leading us and really bringing this as a solution and a fun solution. You make it fun.
We
You
have
really, you make it easy and you make it fun. And it's something that it's responsibility gone fun.
Yay! I love that.
I love it too. As we wrap up, I'm going to propose a possible adjustment to your acronym. I might pull you back to Nance. You can stick with Nan or
Oh, did you
Nance.
come up with
Okay.
You're the next action ninja slash cheerleader slash encourager.
Love it. Love it.
You can be Nan or Nance. It's entirely up to you in the
No,
group.
I like Nance. I'm used to Nance.
I think the next action ninja is awesome. You're also the
so cute?
cheerleader and the encourager. So it's like it all comes
So our
together.
team loves you. Whenever you send in an
Yeah.
email or something,
Yeah.
it's all like, look what Nancy.
Yeah, we're like sharing around, like just among ourselves, just the 5 or 6 of us. And it's like
Yeah.
she's awesome. She's amazing. So
Just well,
for all you bring.
I think we all need encouragement, right? Everybody needs someone in their corner or being able to feel like people understand their story, or if even they don't understand their story, that they're like, you can do this, keep going. We all need that because it's the number of things that go wrong in a day, it can put you back in bed in like 10 minutes.
Right. Right.
Frustrated, right? Not one of us could make it through without life, right? And so it's just really fun to be able to be around people who are encouraging and supportive. We love you and appreciate you. And
Oh, thank you. Thank you both. I really appreciate both of you.
Thank you. Well, thank you, our ninja friend. And we will continue to engage in the group and on our future calls. We're really grateful for you, Nance.
Thanks so much for being here with us. I hope that you felt encouraged by Nance's story and by the principles that we discussed. And if you are looking to build your STEP Command Central and create a strong foundation for an organized life, I'm going to include a link along with this recording to our STEP information page, as well as our STEP coaching information page. And plus, we have a free training called How to Finally Stop Drowning in Piles that I think you'll love. And of course, if you want to work with me and Eric and Team LearnDoBecome on a monthly basis to architect your life and go deeper into areas like finance and relationships and purpose, then we will include a link to our Rise information page as well. So have an amazing day, and we will see you soon at LearnDoBecome.com. Take care.